Welcome back. Well, something a little bit different this week. I'm down with a number of other hog riders. We're joining up with the charity ride that's coming up from Rotorua. It's been organised by Riders Against Meth in cooperation or conjunction with a number of other social motorcycle clubs. Special mention must be made to Iron Thunder Motorcycle Club, who made a lot of arrangements and put some very great effort into organisation here as well, as I can see it. This is a ride to raise awareness of the dangers, the perils of methamphetamine, and this particular year it's also a memorial ride to honour the memory of a young man who lost his life last year, Aiden Sangala, due to a tragic accident involving, well, his loss of life actually uncovered a means of importation of pure liquid methamphetamine into the country that until that time wasn't on the radar of the police at all, and since that time there have been arrests and there's court cases pending, including for the loss of life of this young man. Anyway, we've joined up with the ride. We didn't go down to Rotorua to join it. We came down to BP Taupiri and met up with the ride there. There's going to be one further stop on the way up in Bombay. We're stopping at the BP truck stop up there and then heading on to our final destination in Hobsonville. So on this ride there's probably, I think in total, once we left Taupiri, we probably numbered about 60 something motorbikes and travelling up the motorway in a reasonably orderly fashion. Proceeds from this particular ride, I have to say, are going to an organisation called Bravehearts, and reading from their website, they're uniting addicts' families. They're a whanau and family addiction support service, and they particularly look after or help people or unite people with loved ones who've got substance use and addiction issues. I'll put a link to the Bravehearts website in the video description below, so if you or a family member or a friend that you know is going through these particular issues, then by all means take a look at the website. There is a contact page there which has a number of means of getting in contact. There's a free phone, there's an email support, there's a mailing list that can be provided, and what Bravehearts will do, it facilitates group meetings, it provides phone support and can refer those who need it onto further counselling or other professional service providers. So they will try and look after you and help you manage your way through the dark times. So that's what this ride is about, and when you see a group of riders, it's not always just bad news. This is a group of riders who've paid money to be on this ride to raise funds to go towards Bravehearts, and we're heading on about this with join our hearts, because this is part of what it is to be part of a bike community. We get to ride our bikes, we have some fun, and at the same time we're raising money for a very, very good cause. Now just to update where we're at in the ride here, we're coming to the first, well, this will be the second stop, I suppose. I'm presuming that the ride ran directly from Rotorua through to BP Taupiri. We had a bit of a lengthy wait there. Eventually got back underway again. We're making one further stop right here at the BP truck stop in Bombay, top of the Bombay Hills. A little bit of a regroup. There may be one or two other riders joining us here. We were also losing a couple of riders along the way who'd come along to pledge the money, pay the money to contribute to the ride, and rode as far as they could before they had to head off and do other things. And this is a chance we get here to just, I guess, walk around, socialise with some of the other riders here, because there's people from various social motorcycle clubs that we don't maybe normally see or ride with. A few different bikes here as well. It's certainly not just Harleys only, there's all kinds of motorbikes. It's really interesting. Now we didn't really spend too long here at the top of the Bombay Hills, probably about 15-20 minutes max, I guess, before we once again hit the road, and this time it was going to be a non-stop, shortish ride I suppose, through to VIP Car Care in Hobsonville. So it's going to take us down State Highway 1, we're going to get off at Manukau, State Highway 20, head over and through the Waterview tunnel, which then connects us onto the northwestern motorway, State Highway 16, and that'll carry us all the way through to Hobsonville, where we'll head off and head down Hobsonville Road to get to our final destination, which is putting on some hospitality and a place for the riders to come and have a final chat, regroup. There are some prizes, and there's a general acknowledgement and thanks for all those that took part. So we're looking forward to that, but in the meantime we got a nice little ride to do down the Auckland Motorway network. Now, one thing I have to say, and it was also pointed out by one of the, I think, Ulysses riders at the VIP Car Care as the speeches were going on. He mentioned that he's been riding 62 years and been involved in, obviously in that time, a great many charity rides. He said this was one of the best organised as far as riding goes of many of the rides that he's ever been on, and I have to agree, this was a pretty well disciplined ride with everybody behaving. There were no real chances going on here. Everybody was travelling along in pretty orderly fashion, making a good pace with the motorway, and not being reckless amongst ourselves as well. So yeah, big win, very happy. Was also fairly pleased to note that we didn't really hit much in the way of traffic. Just one spot just near Papakura where there's been a bit of a hold up for many months actually, and there was again where we came to a little bit of a stop, but very quickly got rolling again. And yeah, Saturday afternoons in Auckland motorway traffic can be a little bit of a lottery, but we were very lucky. We had a pretty large group of riders. We managed to get through quite sweetly, and once we got through that little hold up, which we just cleared back there, the last of it from Papakura, the traffic was really flowing quite freely, which allowed this fairly large group of riders to move through it and by and large stick to one lane, which allowed traffic to flow and be unimpeded, as well as keeping all of us safe. So yeah, we were very lucky this day as far as traffic conditions go. Another good thing, it's not raining, so it's all a win-win. Now, coming up ahead, we're going to be getting off State Highway 1. It's the southern motorway, and we're going to be jumping off on the State Highway 20 off-ramp, which is just by Manukau city centre. Now, I think the ride can be congratulated here for managing to get off at the correct ramp, follow the way through, because a lot of the riders, well, a number of the riders on this particular charity ride may not be, or probably are not as familiar with Auckland as motorways as some of the other riders, and the Auckland motorway network can be a little bit of a challenging beast at times, trying to figure out which way to go, but there were tail end Charlies working with the group as well and keeping everybody together, so it was a great job, because there's no way to corner mark on a motorway, of course. When you get off, and hopefully you're close enough to see the group, follow off and go where they're going. But yeah, great job. We didn't lose anybody behind here. The people that were carrying on and going different directions had clearly indicated they were going to do so, and they carried on. But the people that were planning to go all the way on the ride carried on and kept at it. So yeah, well done. Now, it was really interesting riding with a different group of riders than what I normally might ride with. I guess one of the closest things I've come to this, I haven't ridden on too many charity rides before. from Pink Ribbon, of course, a few other things like that. But maybe one of the rides that perhaps came closest to something like this, although on a much bigger scale, was a thing called the Kickdown Festival, which ran in Whanau back in 2022. And that involved a ride from Whanau around the Coromandel Loop. And that was before the Kopu Hikuwai Road had washed away, the loss of State Highway 25A. Happily reopened now, but yeah, that was before it got washed away and sent down the valley. It was a fantastic ride. There's probably 500 or 600 riders, I think, that headed off in various catchment groups, about 150 at a time. And there was a generally positive exposure to a whole range of different riders, bikes and riding styles. Yeah, one thing I'd say about this particular ride, it really had its own sense of discipline around it. People riding in a really orderly fashion, staggered formation, and pretty much looking after each other. It was good to see. Yeah, I guess for me, one of the things I look for in group riding is for riders to be, well, obviously competent, to know what they're doing, but also to be, well, not to sound boring, but predictable. I don't want to have somebody who's going fast, slow, fast, now I'm left, now I'm right, all over the place. Consistency is good, and that's what you're looking for in there. It just helps you feel safe, and riding in a group, it's important that everybody kind of works as one organism, and it helps to keep everybody safe. Anyway, I think I digressed there a little bit. Let's get back to the ride. We're at the moment in the Waterview tunnel, which is a key piece of the Western Ring route. It's a 2.4 kilometre tunnel that runs between Point Chevalier and Mount Roskill. It's also does the job of linking up the southwestern and the northwestern motorways. So from here you can, when you come out the tunnel coming this way, you can turn left to head north, you can turn right, which will take you up towards the city and eventually link up to State Highway 1, where you may choose to go either north or south on the main road, main highway that is. This way, State Highway 16 will also take you north if you just keep on pushing along, and it's a road of many different flavours. You'll have a multi-lane motorway like this, and you'll have a single lane high-speed road in the country. Well, as high speed as they allow them to be these days. They have had a bit of a campaign to reduce speed limits on perfectly good big roads, but yeah, in any event, we're on State Highway 16 and we are now very much on the last leg heading up towards our final destination of Hobsonville. Now as we're heading along State Highway 16, heading up towards the VIP car care, which is our final destination. Didn't know at that time that there was in fact a TV3 or News Hub crew waiting there to film the arrival of the bikes and run a little piece on the 6 o'clock news, which I will link their story below because it helps to flesh out some of the other details that I wasn't even aware of after chatting with a few people on the day. So yeah, there's a lot of stories. A lot of people have been touched by the meth menace in New Zealand, in the society, and it really just brought home for all of us, you know, what this ride is about. So do look out for that in the comments below. I'll put a link to the News Hub story that describes a little bit about the ride and also about the memorial nature of it, with the tragic loss of life of Aiden Sangala, who died from an accidental ingestion of what turns out to be pure methamphetamine, liquid methamphetamine, from a beer can that had been opened, and turns out that this is, up until that time, an unknown method of importation of this evil drug into New Zealand. And yeah, there but for the grace of God. So a horrible tale, and yeah, there's this one of many that are out there around the horrors that meth does bring upon the community and the people that it touches, not just those that are stuck in the addiction cycle, but also their families and loved ones who are trying to pick up the pieces as they go. Anyway, here we are now. We've just got off State Highway 16. It's our last motorway riding for the day until we make our own way home, of course, but for now we're going to be turning right onto Hobsonville Road and heading down to our final destination. So as I reflect on this day's riding, I'm very grateful and happy to have been involved in it. I do encourage anybody that can to head along and support some of these charitable rides. It's been great fun riding with this crew, lots of different bikes, different riders, and we all had a good time. We kept safe, we looked after each other on the road, and that's what it's all about. And I'd like to make one last shout out to the benefactor, the main beneficiary of any of the proceeds from this ride going to the Bravehearts support services. Their website's at bravehearts.nz. I'll put a link, like I said, in the video description below. And a big shout out to the clubs that put this ride together, starting with, of course, Riders Against Meth group, and looks like they did it with a lot of assistance, acknowledged by the Iron Thunder Motorcycle Club, and there's a number of other riding clubs that saw on this particular day: Tribal Nations, Iwi Riders, Ulysses, Hog, Auckland chapter was present for some portion of it as well. So well done everybody, look after yourselves, take care out there, and see you next time.